Oh, welcome to another production of ParkTV 16 Sports on Location. This afternoon, we are in the beautiful community of St. Louis Park, Minnesota, bringing you girls Metro West varsity lacrosse, featuring the Orono Spartans coming on the road into St. Louis Park to take on the Orioles, who have gotten off to a great start this year. They're 2-0, taking on the 1-2 Orono Spartans. A first Metro West clash for both these teams in this early season. My name is Robert Christensen. Glad you're with us here on ParkTV 16 Sports. We're streaming live on YouTube, and we're about to begin on a gorgeous late afternoon here in St. Louis Park. 69 degrees, winds gusting to 9 miles out of the west, so it'll be a tad windy, but otherwise perfect conditions. Sunny afternoon. Good crowd on hand, and your Orioles from St. Louis Park are off to a 2-0 start, led by, of course, number 4, Ailish Fitzpatrick. She's their senior, leading the team with 12 goals, 4 assists for 16 points. Second in scoring, Sam Hansen, the freshman, 5 goals, 2 assists, 7 points on the year. Keep an eye on those two for offense. For the Orioles, meanwhile, for the Spartans of Orono, their leading scorer, number 32, Layla Nick, 14 goals, 5 assists for 19 points, followed by number 38, Dylan Collins, 9 goals, 3 assists for 12 points. And we're underway, and Orono wins that all-important first face-off, and with the ball is number 38, Dylan Collins, their second leading scorer, and now she finds room in the middle of the field on the offensive end, passes it off to number 7, that's Riley Teal. And now Orono being aggressive right away, then losing it to goaltender Savannah Davis. Davis 2-0 on the year, comes in with an 8.8 goals against average, and she'll loft it out for the outlet pass, overshoots her target, and Orono is going to take over on their second offensive possession. 12 minutes on the clock, they play 4 quarters, and now a whistle from away from the play. Clock continues to run. Last match here, we're on a makeshift field here at St. Louis Park. We didn't have a clock, but now I have a view of a clock. So right now, 11:15 remaining in the first quarter. As they sort it out, it looks like Park is going to get the ball at around the 30-yard line, and that is number 4, Ailish Fitzpatrick. And now we're mixing it up some more. Let's see, they're bringing her all the way back to the 15. All right, and now she puts the move on and sprints out to the right side. She's got some room, then she comes up with some resistance, puts the move on and gets by both defenders into the offensive zone. Nice rush by Ailish Fitzpatrick, gives it up to number 2, Riley Ridgway. Now to 22, Kate Grimm, and this will be the first offensive possession for the Orioles here in the first quarter. All right, far corner, now around behind the net to 17, that's Stella Kruger. And now Riley Ridgway, she's their third leading scorer, 5 goals, 3 assists, 8 points on the year. Just 2 games into it. Now with it, number 22, Kate Grimm, top of the key to Ridgway. Ridgway looking for some penetration here, turns. Good defense so far by the Spartans. We're at the 10.5-minute mark of quarter number 1. Now Ailish Fitzpatrick goes to work, tried to toss the ball inside to Lola Grimm, and overshot her. Let's see, looks like possession will remain with St. Louis Park in that far corner. Let's see what they do with it. Clock continues to wind down. And it looks like St. Louis Park will have a free opportunity from about the top of the key. Coming right in is Ailish Fitzpatrick. She overshoots the net, misses. And the ball looks like it will remain with St. Louis Park. So that was Ailish Fitzpatrick's first opportunity. And the in goal for Orono is number 25. That's Sydney Anderson. She's 1-2 on the year with a 12 goals against average per game. And now Park, after the miss by Ailish Fitzpatrick, with the ball on the near side, or excuse me, on the far side. That's Ailish Fitzpatrick. Little pass inside, attempted to get it to number 22. That's Kate Grimm. Misses on that, and now Orono on the recovery with it. Number 18 was Gabby Stevens, the senior. Stevens with it again. Pass to the center of the field, complete to number 2. That's Alex Paulson. Paulson has 1 goal on the year. Paulson now winds in, spins. Actually, that's number 9, Alexandra Christian, and now right on the doorstep, and the goal by Orono's number 38, Dylan Collins. Got the pass, comes right in on Davis, and records goal number 1 for Orono. That comes with 8:55 to go in the first quarter. Because we're in a makeshift field, we normally have replay. Won't be able to bring that to you to describe how all these goals happened in particular, but nevertheless, goal number 1 goes to Orono. So after losing 2 of their last 3, they're off to a great start here on the road. And now the Orioles 2-0, and their second face-off, they lost face-off number 1. And that one comes back into the St. Louis Park zone, but there to pick it up first is Orono's Alex Paulson. Inside the shot, and another quick goal by Orono, and they are off to a fantastic start. That was number 7, I understand. It appeared to me Riley Teal took that pass. That'll give Orono their second goal. For Riley Teal, if it is in fact her, that will be her 8th goal of the year, to go along with 1 assist, 9 now on the year, and the clock is stopped with 8:46 to go. And Orono off to the races so far on 2 quick goals in the first quarter. Now we go to the third face-off. Orono's won both face-offs so far. Such a critical part of lacrosse, these face-offs. There's a saying, possession is 9/10 of the law. Well, same in lacrosse. Getting that ball is critical. And now the face-off, Ailish Fitzpatrick can't get that one either. That's Orono's 3rd face-off win in a row, and now off to the races is Dylan Collins. Now she'll pull up, get it to the top of the key. That's number 32 for Orono, Layla Nick. She's their leading scorer. She puts the move on, weaves right in, goes down low and scores on Savannah Davis. That's 3 in a row. This time Layla Nick gets goal number 3. That'll be her 15th on the year. To go along with 5 assists, she's got 20 points. And you can see why. She wasted no time penetrating the right side of that defense. That goal comes with 8:27 to go, and so in less than a minute here, Orono, and I overheard a parent or a fan here talking that Orono is ranked, so don't be fooled by their 1-2 record coming in here. And so far, the way they've played the first few minutes certainly would support that contention that they're a ranked team here in the state. All right, now St. Louis Park looking for some offense. And now the 4th face-off. Comes back, and Orono grabs that, niftily picked up by number 11, Lily Logan, the sophomore, and now taken away on defense. Well done by, I believe that was Kate Grimm on defense, taking that right away, and now rushing it into the offensive zone is Ailish Fitzpatrick, and then a whistle from behind will stop play, although the clock continues to wind down, and now Ailish Fitzpatrick off again. Now to the top of the key, that's number 24, Sam Hansen. First her touch of the day. Now with it, number 23, Lola Grimm. Grimm now, tight defense by Orono's number 2, Alex Paulson. Now the Orioles will try that left side on the offensive end, and now the pass back to Ailish Fitzpatrick, and it's intercepted. That was great anticipation on defense, and now Orono's got a 2-on-1, 3-on-3 break. Coming right in and scoring it is number 3, I believe. Let me see if I get her number. And there was a whistle, and are they gonna stop before the goal? Was that number 7, I believe? For Orono, Riley Teal. No goal though. And we're gonna I don't know what happened there. All I know is there was no goal. And the Orioles have the ball, and a nice outlet pass to number 24, was that? 22, nope, that was Kate Grimm. And now into the offensive zone once again are the Orioles, and look at the defense by Orono, causing all kinds of problems, especially right there, number 32, Layla Nick. Not only doing it on the offensive end, also on the defensive end, and now on offense, number 2, Alex Paulson comes right in. And Davis makes the save. whistle, and the ball is now going to remain, I believe, with the Orono Spartans. Clock continues to wind down. We're at the 6.5-minute mark of quarter number one. Orono with possession and a 3-goal lead in the first quarter. Gorgeous sunshiny day here in St. Louis Park, 69 degrees. That's a nice pass to number 7. That is Teal. That ball goes by the wayside, but Orono retained possession. We lost our PA announcer, so we don't even have a PA announcer today. I think they were having trouble with the sound system, so I'll do the best I can marking all of this down. All right, now to the far side is Orono. That's Teal. Way far side, penetrating and now losing it. Good defense by the Orioles, almost took it away. Orono retains possession behind the net, now rushing with it. I believe that's number 31. Those numbers are small, aren't they? It is 31. That was Kanadi Mullerin. Now in front, shot, whistle before the shot, or just simultaneously stops play. Clock continuing to wind down, now at the 5:30 mark of the first quarter, and a free opportunity from quite a ways out, but at point blank range for Orono. They set it up, and here she'll come forward. That's Dylan Collin, and she scores it. That's her second, if I'm not mistaken, of the afternoon. The 4th goal for the Spartans. That comes with 5 minutes, 16 seconds remaining. Quarter number one, and it's been all Orono so far on offense. Hard to believe the way they're playing now that they've lost their last 2 matches. And just checking their calendar, they started off the season back on April 10th, beating Hutchinson 16-3. Then on Monday, April 14th, they lost to Wayzata by just 1 goal, and to their credit, they lost to Rosemount just by 2 goals against some powerful schools there as well. So that might explain their 1-2 start. They were near losses to good teams, big schools. Okay, now back to the center circle, face off here for the Orioles and the Spartans, and it comes back into the Orioles zone, but there to pick it up on 1 bounce, Riley Teal. Boy, that is unbelievable. Now the shot gets blocked by Davis, but the rebound ends up in the stick of number 31, Mullerin, and she takes a shot, and Davis makes the save. She made some great saves our last broadcast about a week ago. Comes up with a big one there. 4-0 our score. She looks to outlet it, a high outlet pass, trying to take advantage of the height of Kate Grimm, and she does. Grimm pulls it out of the air. Nice headman pass to number 4, Ailish Fitzpatrick. Patrick now comes in. She gets pushed from behind, hits the deck. There's a whistle, and she's going to get a free opportunity, but quite a bit of ways from the goaltender, number 25 for the Spartans, Sydney Anderson. And now we got a whistle, and our first timeout going to be taken, appears, by Coach Kate Pearson of St. Louis Park. So this time, while her team has possession of the ball in the offensive end, down 4-0, 4:28 remaining in quarter number one. Like to make sure she points out whatever things she noticed in their first offensive attempts, knowing this is a key time to try to get a goal, get some traction, and try to get into this lead here, down 4-0 early on. Meanwhile, for the Orono Spartans, what can you say? They have just played pretty much perfect lacrosse tonight, winning every face-off, scoring on most of their possessions. So we'll have to see what Coach Kate Pearson can impart on her players here. And I think they'd want to hold the ball as best they can, maybe not be in such a hurry. You certainly don't want to get into a track meet here with the Spartans. So might want to be a little more methodical. Easier said than done, because one of the things I've noticed here also is Orono's defense. They're not sitting back and playing zone defense and huddling around that goal. They're coming out, they're putting pressure on the ball wherever it is, out on the perimeter. And so that's going to force the play here. So, all right, here comes St. Louis Park. They'll have offensive possession. Remind you, there's 4:28 remaining in quarter number one. I'll also remind you, you're watching ParkTV 16 Sports. We're streaming live on YouTube. Glad you're with us on this gorgeous sunshiny afternoon in St. Louis Park, Minnesota. And here come the Orioles now, having taken the first time out of the match by either team. And Ailish Fitzpatrick is going to have it at about the 20-21 yard line. Kind of far out, whether she's going to try to weave her way in there to get a good shot on goaltender Sydney Anderson. Or will she be forced to give it up? Nope, she'll have to start a play here. She gets it to Grimm. Grimm with the shot. That play was executed. They just didn't convert on the shot, but well executed play as number 22 came around from the left side, cut right in, much like a basketball player does. And now another shot on the ensuing play. And the rebound ends up in the basket of Orono. And I believe, is that number 60, if I'm not mistaken? It is, Sky Shelley. There is a number 60, and she rushes it all the way into the Orioles zone. Just like that, now it's poked away by number 13 for the Orioles. That is Ruby Viat. She had a great defensive game last broadcast here. And now Orono still with it, and they will now set up shop. So a nice job by the Orioles stopping that fast break scoring chance for the Spartans, but now they'll go into their offense, and with it, taking her time, is number 38, Dylan Collins. Collins now tries to penetrate. She gets triple, quadruple teamed, and now we got a flag out and a penalty on, let's see here, Ailish Fitzpatrick comes over to discuss it. Okay, it's going to be Spartans' ball. Ailish is going to have to be back behind her about 5 yards. Kind of far out from Savannah Davis. Rushing with it is Dylan Collins. She looks for her third goal of the afternoon, and she does. Deposit it low and to the right, inside that right post. And Dylan Collins gets her third goal of the afternoon. She came in with 9 on the year. She now has 12. Forcing me to do math here. She has 3 assists, 15 points on the year. So a great start continues here for the Spartans. They lead 5-0 with 3:04 to go in quarter number 1. Orioles in white with orange numbers. Spartans in, I think that's red. And now the face-off, is that going to be given to the Orono Spartans or the Orioles? Let's see, they're going to redo it. All right, back to the center circle. Clock winding down, under 3 minutes to go. Comes out, oh, Grimm couldn't quite get it, Kate Grimm, but she tried to, because that's where that ball's gone the last few times on the face-off. And here comes Orono, and they overshoot the net by quite a bit. That was, let's see, the number is very far away. I think that was number 9, Alexandra Christian, the sophomore, coming in and just overshooting the goal. Yeah, that was number 9, Alexandra Christian. Looking for her first goal and assist on the year. All right, Orioles will take over possession and getting pressure on the forecheck, but taking her time. Well, nicely done is number 11 for the Orioles. That was Tamara Smith. Showing great poise there. She just rushed it to the near side, and now she'll start with it again. They'll give her a free pass here, and now she hits Viat, and here's Viat. Spins it around, gets poke checked away nicely though by the Spartans, Tamara Smith, and now the Orono Spartans right in front, and Davis takes it away right on the doorstep. That was number 31 for Orono in on the doorstep, Kennedy Mullerin. And Davis robs her of a great scoring opportunity. Meanwhile, during the outlet, the Spartans intercept again. Now in front, number 32, that is Layla Nick. And the save again by Davis. That's 2 in a row. Stops the clock with 1:28 to go. Or was that a goal? I was looking down at that time. I couldn't tell. When I looked up, I saw it was in her basket. I was hoping. I heard clapping, and it was either for the goal or for the save, but unfortunately another goal, if you're Orioles fan, makes it 7-0 if I'm not mistaken. I look across, still says 6. 1:28 remaining, or were we at 5 before? I can't remember. All right, appears we're at 6-0. Spartans now back to the center circle with the Orioles. 6 goals so far in quarter number 1. Face-off now comes back towards the Orioles offensive zone, and it's picked up by Dylan Collin, but a late whistle is going to turn it back over to the Orioles, so a break for them. If they can get a goal here quickly. Kate Grimm gets it ahead to Sam Hansen. She gives it up to the left side to Ailish Fitzpatrick. She scoops it up behind the net. We'll keep an eye on the clock here. Boy, what the doctor orders here for the Orioles would be a goal going into the break at the quarter. Give them some momentum. See if they can execute. All right, now with it, number 23, Lola Grimm. She's been quiet today, now almost intercepted, and the Orono Spartans come away with it again. And it is clear their defense is just as superior as their offense as they take that right away. That was Amelia Carpenter, the junior for the Spartans. And now a whistle and an infraction. Clock stopped with 2 seconds remaining, if I'm reading that correctly. All right, play continues on. I'm not sure what's going on with the clock over there, but the Spartans are in business. And there's a rebound, or was that another goal? It's a little difficult for me to see from my vantage point. All right, now Orioles come away with it. No goal, so a save by Davis. And I'm looking over at that clock over there, and I think it's, I don't know, it says 47 seconds, but it should be running at this point. So we'll keep an eye on that, and they'll keep playing on. Now here comes the Orioles. That's Sam Hansen, her first big rush of the afternoon, coming right in. No whistle yet, spin move, and then I heard a whistle. And is that, oh, there was a little bit of an infraction on that far side. I didn't see any. Clock stopped at 40 seconds according to the scoreboard across the way, and a free opportunity here for the Orioles, and I believe that's Sam Hansen, the freshman. See if she can use her speed to come right in on the goaltender, Sydney Anderson, waiting for the signal. There it is, coming in. Hansen goes high up, and the save by Anderson right at her eye length. And now the outlet pass to Dylan Collin. Now to the near side, overshoots, and it's going to be out of bounds on the near side. And clock stop now with 26 seconds remaining. And that is number 2, Riley Ridgway. She'll come in. Clock at 21 seconds, whistle. And now here's Sam Hansen again, and she shoots and scores. Late in the first quarter, the freshman, second leading scorer on the team, Sam Hansen. It was her second opportunity in the last 10-20 seconds. She had a free chance, got saved on by Sydney Anderson, but then took a nice pass, I believe, from Riley Ridgway. That connects up. She came in, she had her head up, she had her basket up, she saw the opening, she put it where she needed to, and that is the Orioles' first goal, and that is just what the doctor ordered for sure. And now we've got I think the signal that the quarter has now ended, so the Orioles score right at the end, I believe, unless they are not done with the first quarter, or are they just gonna continue on with the second? I don't think there's gonna be any break here, maybe. That's unusual. Or maybe they're putting more time. My view is obstructed. I have to tell you, we're in a makeshift field, although it's a gorgeous field. It's really meant for just track and field. Okay, 18 seconds remaining. So much like soccer, there's added time perhaps, but 18 seconds on the board. So we're still in the first quarter, and you bet Orono they can score lightning fast. They want to answer that goal, but not unless Ailish Fitzpatrick can come up with it, but she doesn't. And now a chance for Orono. Fitzpatrick poke checks from behind, and they called a whistle on that. I can't believe. Is that illegal? Felt like she poked it right out of her basket, and now with it, and the clock's still running down at 7 seconds. Orono's gonna have to move quickly to get a shot off. Coming right in, coming left, 2 seconds, and the goal. Orono does answer right as the buzzer sounds, or the clock winds down to 0. And that's gonna be another goal right at the tail end. So let's see, our score, is it 7-1 over there? Boy, it's very small. Yes, it is. So after 1 quarter complete, our score, 7 Spartans, 1 for the Orioles. Hang with us here as we will begin quarter number 2 in just about a minute. And a chance to summarize what happened here in the first quarter, and I guess it can be summed up that one statement. It's been all Orono, hasn't it? Coming in with a 1-2 record. Orioles off to their, I think, probably their best start in years that I can remember. I could be mistaken, but 2-0 to start the season. They've done very well, but right now they are searching for answers on the offensive and defensive end in this one. If this pace keeps up, it'll be 28-4 by the end of the match. I think there's a mercy rule in lacrosse, Paul. Are you aware of one? I'm not sure what it's at, but we'll see if that comes into play. Hopefully not if you're an Orioles fan. But when they go to that stage of a deficit between two teams, they will do running time. So meanwhile, yeah, the Orono Spartans, what can you say? They scored 7 goals. They probably could have had 1 or 2 more. And one bright spot was Sam Hansen. She was able to get the Orioles on the board with less than a half minute to go. We thought the quarter was over, but then they mysteriously put 18 more seconds on the board, and that allowed Orono to answer that goal back. So they maintained a 6-goal lead, and something tells me it's a 12-goal lead in the second half or the fourth quarter is the mercy rule. So we'll keep an eye on that. But meanwhile, it looks like we're about to begin quarter number 2. I see 12 minutes on the clock across the way. Wind continuing to gust right out of the west, but it's a warm wind, beautiful sunshine, probably the nicest day of the year so far, I would say. I don't know, maybe we had some 80-degree days, but this somehow feels better. Maybe because it has been a little damp and cold in the Twin Cities for the last few weeks. All right, now, here come the Orioles. They'll be going right to left in quarter number 2. Savannah Davis comes out. She's in goal, number 10, and also for the Spartans coming back out will be number 25, Sydney Anderson. And we're about to begin. We'll go to the center circle. Spartans dominated these face-offs in quarter number 1. Let's see if the Orioles can improve in that category of statistic. Okay, here we go. Clock already underway. Ball comes back into the Orono defensive zone, picked up by number 38, Dylan Collins, and she'll rush in. She's got 3 goals, if I'm not mistaken. I don't keep the most accurate stats, but now I do recall, I think she's got 3. Now with it, number 32, Layla Nick, the leading scorer, and that ball goes awry, out of bounds, but it appears that that'll be a unforced error and maybe an omen for good things to come for the Orioles as they get a turnover just like that. And now with it, Ailish Fitzpatrick, she's got a Division I scholarship. I think it's to a school somewhere in Florida. She crosses midfield. She finds a wide open number 24, Sam Hansen. Hansen finds Kate Grimm. Grimm now on the doorstep and can't quite convert. It was intended. I can't quite see her number. As soon as I get it, I'll let you know. But that was just a well-executed play. 3 passes, and they were right at the goal step. So that's a good sign for the Orioles. Now they take it right back after they just turned it over on that scoring play. Now with it, number 23, Lola Grimm. That's to Kate Grimm. Hansen now, she'll look to the right side, comes back to the near side. Now Lola Grimm. Now Ailish Fitzpatrick to the corner. Number 37, Nora Robertson. Let's see, did I get that number right? Sometimes with the glare. No, let's see. I don't know if I have a number 36. All right, play back underway. That was a turnover in favor of Orono, and that's number 33 rushing it up the near sideline. Delilah Tate, the senior, and now a turnover right back to Fitzpatrick and the Orioles. So back and forth we go, no scoring. Still within the first minute of play of this 12-minute quarter. Ailish Fitzpatrick now, top of the key. And there's that aggressive defense, and she's going to get whistled for it as well. Or are they going to call it on Ailish Fitzpatrick? And I am not educated enough on lacrosse to explain what happened there. But here I can tell you is Orono streaking down the middle of the field. Number 32, Layla Nick, their leading scorer, comes right in. And that's another goal for Orono. And I believe that was Layla Nick, or is it not a goal? Let's see. I'm looking directly into the sun, so with the glare, usually I'm high up in the stands, but I'm almost at field level, so it's a little more difficult. So I apologize for the lack of accuracy of some of my comments. And I don't see a signal actually from the referee if it was a goal, but it looks like it's 8-1. So yes. And I believe that's going to go to Layla Nick. And we don't even have a PA announcer. We had one last week that would at least announce the goal, so I could bring them back to you. But the most important stat is the scoreboard, and that's 8-1. That goal, I'm going to believe that's Layla Nick, who's there at the center circle as the Orioles get on side here. 10:52, the time of the first goal of the second quarter. 8-1 our score. Now the referees are conferring maybe on the scoring play, keeping track of that in their written notes of the game. And now what looks like will begin at the center circle. That's Sam Hansen. Actually, they're going to give the ball to Orono, even though they scored. And there might have been a penalty that I missed, and I do see an Oriole that might be in the penalty box over there, now coming right in. And a nice save by Anna Davis, but she gave up the rebound, and Orono retains possession. Now we got contact on that far side of the net. And a whistle, and Orono will get a free opportunity, although from a very tough angle. That appears to be number 7, Riley Teal. And she'll come in. Nope, that's spinning. I think that was now number 34. Well, I don't have a number 34 for Orono. Very difficult to see with that sun setting right in our vantage point. I look at the clock, 10:19 remaining, 8-1 our score. And this is the second quarter. You're watching ParkTV 16 Sports. I'm Robert Christensen. Glad you're with us. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. Still 8-1 here, and it looks like that was going to be a turnover after everything is said and done. Or let's see, who has the ball? It's very difficult to tell. They're still sorting it out. It's much like a play where a director's saying, okay, you characters stand there. All right, and then the whistle, action. Here we are, Ailish Fitzpatrick. So all of that was a turnover for the Orioles. And now Ailish Fitzpatrick into the offensive zone. She's going to take matters into her own hands, coming right in. It gets poke checked away at the last minute. And let's see, the result is going to be a free opportunity for Ailish Fitzpatrick. She'll come out almost a 45-degree angle on the left side, trying to get the Orioles' second goal of the match and their first of the second quarter. Plenty of room. She's going to come in, and she shoots and scores. Ailish Fitzpatrick gets on the board for the first time this afternoon. She came in with 12 goals, 4 assists. That'll be her 13th of the year, and the Orioles' second, so a much better start here in the second quarter as they match Orono's 1 goal in the second quarter, and that goal comes for Ailish Fitzpatrick with 9:41 to go in quarter number 2. And now some substitutions, it appears. Checking in for the Orioles is number 25. Oh, I don't have a name for her, unfortunately. We get our lineups online, and they're not always accurate, so we do the best we can. All right, now to the center circle. Number 23 will do the honors for the Orioles. Can they get this face-off here and get some momentum going and run a string of goals together? Lacrosse is very streaky when it comes to goal scoring. Can score 1, 2, 3 in a heartbeat here. Now the face-off on the ground. Try to get it to Kate Grimm, and we got a quick whistle, and we're going to redo it. For Orono, going against Grimm, that's number 17, Elise Sween. Clock winding down in the second quarter, 9:24, ball high in the air, reaching for it is Sween, coming up with it, guess who? Ailish Fitzpatrick. She's gonna try to follow up on her other goal. Look at the speed as she pulls away from the defense, coming right in, got her head up, shot at another goal by Ailish Fitzpatrick. This time beating Sydney Anderson on the right side, but this time she went up high. Last time she went low, and just like that, in another, this is what I'm talking about. Streakiness and winning face-offs is a winning combination to girls lacrosse for sure. And winning that face-off, nicely done by Grimm, and then Ailish picking it up and taking it the distance That goal again comes with 9:06 remaining, and our score now 8-3. Back to the center circle and the face-off. Can the Orioles get a string of face-off victories here in the second quarter? These are critical. And you can see why they are. Now they're going to call some sort of offside penalty on Grimm, and they give the ball to the Spartans. And with it, that's Elise Sween. Sween on the far side, rushes it, still with it. Now she'll pull up shop, look back up, now decides to play it behind the net with that pass. Now turning back around, good defense now coming in, weaving right on the doorstep. Nice job by Viat, number 13 on defense. She wasn't giving up that space at all. Well done. Viat having another good defensive game. Now with it, with the Spartans at the top of the key. Orioles, nice job on defense with number 14, Vic Anderson for the Spartans, gives it up to number 2, Paulson. Now inside, Ailish Fitzpatrick goes for the interception, interferes, ball on the ground, and the Orioles turn it over to themselves. Nice defensive play by the Orioles as a whole, and Fitzpatrick there to get the ball, and now she'll start off inside to Viat. Viat loses it momentarily, and it's intercepted and picked up on the fumble by Vive Anderson, and she scores it. So a rare mistake on defense by the Orioles leads to a turnover goal for the Spartans, and that goal comes with exactly 8 minutes remaining. And now the lead is back to 6 for the Orono Spartans, back to the center circle. So that was a strange sequence, wasn't it? There was some sort of infraction on the Orioles. I didn't see what it could be, at least from my vantage point, but that gave the ball to the Spartans, which was unfortunate because the Orioles had won 2 in a row and they didn't appear they got a fair face-off there. But again, I am not an expert on the rules of girls lacrosse. And now we'll go to the center circle. I do know that these face-offs are critical. 9-3 our score, 8 minutes to go in the half, second quarter. And the ball comes up, no whistle, and the Spartans have it. 38, Dylan Collins, she's dangerous. She's got 4 tonight. Coming in, she'll pull up shop at the top of the key, much like a point guard in basketball. Gives it to the wing on the far side, Elise Sween. Sween hands it off to number 14 as she crossed over Viv Anderson. Nice ball movement by the Spartans. Nobody holding it for very long. Dylan Collins now. She'll try to take a screen, and she took a shot after the fact, but I'm wondering if that was an illegal screen of some kind. Certainly that's what it looked like. Basketball is my background, and that's what that looked like, an illegal, maybe moving screen of some type, and that turns it back over to the Orioles. And more whistles. We got to get people positioned in the proper place. Clock, though, continues to wind down. We're at the 7-minute mark. Now Lola Grimm gets it poke checked away. A whistle, though, may have saved her on that. It did. She keeps the ball. Now Lola Grimm, nice move on the defense. She'll rumble up into the middle of the field, crosses into the offensive zone. Look at her protecting it. Just then she did lose it, and it is loose. And it's picked up by Alex Paulson, and she comes back the other way. Streaking on the right side is Ailish Fitzpatrick. Chases her down and stops the momentum. Look at the speed of Ailish Fitzpatrick. Just ran her down, didn't she? Stopped her. Point blank. All right, now the Orono Spartans with the ball. That's Collins on the near side. Now to the top of the key to Alex Paulson. Paulson now looks left, throws left. That's Layla Nick, the leading scorer. She'll come in, cuts left, goes left, takes a shot and scores it on Savannah Davis. Nice play by Layla Nick, seemingly unstoppable. Showing great body control, right? Able to cut left, cut right. Very upright, keeps her balance and keeps her head up. And once she gets on the doorstep, there's a lot of holes in those big nets that these girls need to defend. And that leads to the 10th goal for the Spartans. I believe that's Layla Nick's second of the afternoon, and that comes with 6:05 remaining, and we'll go back to the center circle. So the Orioles got off to a good start here in quarter number 2. They had a face-off with 2 goals in a row, and then they lost the face-off in an infraction, and the Spartans have answered back here and now have their largest lead of the afternoon, 10-3. Back to the center circle. And the face-off comes back, and that's Ailish Fitzpatrick reaching high for it. Now she'll sprint all the way in. Pass intended, middle. Doesn't connect. They're running at full speed. That is awful difficult. It was intended for Riley Ridgway. She's their second leading scorer, so I can see why they'd want to get it to her. Meanwhile, the Orioles will retain possession, it appears, and that is Grimm, Kate Grimm, right at point blank range. She's going to have an opportunity, a great scoring chance. Now they move some players around. Everybody got their marks on stage. Here we go. Kate Grimm, she's got that ball up in a kind of a batter stance in baseball or softball, right? She's gonna let it fly. Goes wide left. Wow, I've never seen that technique before, but that was dramatic and exciting. She just missed wide left. Meanwhile, the Spartans pick up the rebound. That's number 60, Sky Shell. And now she gives it up, so a turnover favors the Orioles, and they're back in business. That's number 36, and I don't have her name, unfortunately. Didn't last week either. I should do a better job of trying to investigate that. But anyway, she knows who she is. And now 36, too. That is Kate Grimm, 22. And she'll take her time now. Settle things down. Look at the perimeter defense of the Spartans, how they have the Orioles so far out. Look at that defense. And now they're going to get called on an infraction, maybe a bit of a cross check. Called on number 31, that's Mullerin for the Spartans. So you see, she'll take that space, and that gives the free space for Ailish Fitzpatrick. Because she's so far out, she decided to pull back. That was a little far to maybe sprint in there and get a good shot, so she'll back up. Start it off, much like, again, a point guard. Now to the right wing, that's to Kate Grimm. Grimm turns back to the point. Now Ailish will try the near side. That's to number 15 for the Orioles. That's Zara Fakir, if I'm pronouncing Fakir maybe, Fakir. And now with it, that's number 9 for St. Louis Park, Clara Banyang. And she loses it as she turned back, tried to get it back to Fitzpatrick, but there was a whistle that I think is going to save the situation. And maybe that was Ridgway. It's really difficult in this light. Still difficult for me to determine that number. Oh, it is. It's Ridgway. Okay. Second leading scorer. She's going to try to come in. No, she pulls up, gets it to the right side. Hansen turns around, loses the ball, and it's loose on the far side as they jostle for position, and Hansen came away with it. With those quick hands of hers, that's a skill set she has. She demonstrated that last game as well. I don't know if it gets talked about with real lacrosse announcers, but those quick hands picking up those loose balls, another critical skill, almost as important as those face-offs, it appears. And now Sam Hansen, with a tight angle on the far side, will have an opportunity to get her second goal. Unless she passes it up, the angle might be too great. Let's see what she does with it. Look at the clock, 2:44 now remaining in the half. There's the whistle. Goes behind the net to Ridgway. She comes in. There's a flag, but the play goes on. I saw the referee lift the flag up, and then she blew the whistle a few seconds later. Let's see what the net result is as the clock continues winding down, 2:23 and counting. And that appears to be Riley Ridgway. It is. All right, we'll set the players, get their marks on stage. Now Ridgway. Will she try to get in there? She takes a step towards, comes left, didn't get an opening, backs it up to number 15, the pass. That's Zara Fakir. Now, no, that's Kate Grimm, number 22. Still with it, nice ball protection there. 1:46 remaining, and now another whistle. Sometimes I really don't understand these whistles. They seem somewhat ticky-tacky from an amateur observer, but here is Kate Hansen with it. Another free opportunity. They'll take that a little far out. She tries to get a pass inside. I think that was to Ailish Fitzpatrick, or no, it was Ridgway. No, it was intended for Fitzpatrick. It was a a little low, got behind her, and now Orono Spartans take over. Outlet pass on the bounce, the second bounce, and it's picked up nicely by guess who? Number 32, that is Layla Nick, the leading scorer. Gives it up, no, Layla Nick comes right in. She passed at the last second to the near side and right on the doorstep. I believe that was maybe 33, Delilah Tate, if I can see her. No, 32, no, let's see. I think that might have been 33 at the doorstep. Let me see if I can, I'm sorry? 32? Oh, I thought that was her who had it. But anyway, so that was Layla Nick. Not a bad guess if I was guessing there, since she is their leading scorer. And I think that'll give her her third of the afternoon. That goal comes with 1:06 remaining. Our score 11-3 here as we are nearing halftime. Just this gorgeous day. And this is actually a beautiful field here at St. Louis Park. It looks brand new. They've got a nice, this is mostly used for track and field, I think, while the main stadium is under construction. And a beautiful asphalt track around here, just gorgeous. All right, now, center circle, 1:06 to go. Great facilities at St. Louis Park High School. All right, now face off, trying to get it there was number 22, Kate Grimm. And the Orioles come away with it, and that is Fitzpatrick with a dead-on pass right back to Kate Grimm as she brings it into the offensive zone. There's Sam Hansen in the middle of the field, pulls up, loses it momentarily, and it's picked up by the Spartans, but there's going to be a whistle. It's going to give the ball back to Hansen and the Orioles. Looking at the clock, 42 seconds. Clock stopped. And Hansen now. Will she try to go at the goal this time? Waiting for the signal. There it is. She comes in, gets blocked off, decides to better of it. Ailish Fitzpatrick looked like she was a wind up and shoot, and then another whistle. And this time Fitzpatrick will get a free shot. This time from a little farther out and to the right of center. I believe she has 2 of the 3 goals so far. She's coming right in. Look at the speed. She goes low and scores it. Beats Sydney Anderson for her 3rd goal of the afternoon. The Orioles 4th. They're now within 8. That goal comes with 35 seconds remaining till halftime. And back to the center circle. 35 seconds, plenty of time for either of these teams, maybe both of them, to score 1 or 2 in that amount of time. And will you bet the Orono Spartans are going to want to answer back. I don't think there's any letting off this pedal for them. Let's see what happens now. Center circle, that's Sam Hansen doing the honors for the first time. Tries to rip it out there, gets the spin, and the Spartans come away with it, and that's Layla Nick again. And she's going to come right at that net. Gets pushed away by Viat, and that forced the shot wide left, out of bounds. As the sun starts to set here more in the eyes of the announcer, and the ball comes to the near side. Look at the clock, 23 seconds and counting. Orono Spartans with it, trying to answer that goal, much like they did at the end of the first quarter. Layla Nick comes in, keeps her balance. Davis with the save as she kicked it out. And the rebound is Kate Grimm. What a nice defensive play by the Orioles late here in the second quarter. Now with 5 seconds, they've got it. Ridgway trying to get in position for a last second shot, and there is the 0 and the whistle signaling the end of quarter number 2. We're at halftime at St. Louis Park High School. Our score after 2 quarters, 11-4, if I got that right. Spartans leading the Orioles. You're watching ParkTV 16 Sports. We're streaming live on YouTube. As we step aside, come on back for quarter number 3.
MS is a hard one to explain to somebody. In my situation, it's very invisible.
It's a daily battle sometimes. How am I going to feel today?
Walk MS is like walking into a world that you belong to.
Happiness, meet with other people who have MS, have a great support group.
The idea of MS and living with such a chronic disease can be scary at times. That day is just about being amongst people and seeing the hope.
You see 3,000 people come to say, we're going to fight this thing with you, no matter how long it takes or what it takes.
It's beautiful. It's like a sea of circles, never-ending love, you know?
We need the support. That's our support group.
A cure is on the line for me.
For me.
For me.
A cure is on the line for all of us.
Welcome back to ParkTV 16 Sports on Location. We are at the high school of St. Louis Park in St. Louis Park, Minnesota, bringing you girls Metro West varsity lacrosse, Metro West style. This is a Metro West matchup between the Orono Spartans and the St. Louis Park Orioles. We're about to begin half number 2. I'm Robert Christensen. Glad you're with us. We're streaming live on YouTube, and we're going to go to the center circle. Our score at the beginning of the third quarter is 11-4 Spartans. They got off to a great start in quarter number 1, 7-1 lead. Then the Orioles answered back with 3 goals in the second quarter. Meanwhile, the Spartans also answered those goals and upped it from a 7 to 11. That's how we got to 11-4, and we're underway with the Spartans in red, going from right to left to start quarter number 3 on a 68-degree, glorious, sunny afternoon here in Minnesota. 9 miles an hour winds out of the west. All right, now here are the Spartans with their first offensive possession. Coming in from behind, trying to sneak it in, was number 12, Emily Kuhlberg, the sophomore. She has 1 assist and 1 point on the year, and the ball gets to the far side, and the Spartans retain possession. Spin move by the Spartans. I believe that was number 9, Alexandra Christian. Now to the near side. That is 38, Dylan Collins. Weaves right in, comes in, and deposits the ball right over Savannah Davis's right shoulder. And the Spartans, just like that, within the first minute of the third quarter, score their 12th goal. They go up now by 8. And that goal comes with exactly 11:14 remaining in quarter number 3. So the Spartans off to another fast start to begin the second half, much like they did to begin the match. And we'll go back to the center circle. And it appears Sam Hansen, the freshman, will do the honors once again at the center circle. And I believe that is the leading scorer for the Spartans, Layla Nick, to do the honors at the all-important face-off. As they set up those sticks, they need to be exactly parallel. Spins out, reaching for it was Kate Grimm, but coming away with it is Dylan Collins on the far side as she rushes the ball into the offensive zone of the Orioles. Sam Hansen slows her down, and now Collins will slow up on that far side. She has her head up, looking where she wants to go with it. She'll play point guard. Now inside, overshoots Layla Nick. Rebound, though, comes to the near side. Scooped up by number 11, Lily Logan. Her pass to the inside gets deflected. Played away by number 14, Ashley Berry for the Orioles. And now the Orioles will come away with it. And a nice stop by Ashley Berry and the Orioles. Now the outlet pass. I believe that's Ailish Fitzpatrick. Look how fast she is. Unbelievable speed. Now the pass to the far side, coming right in. The shot gets deflected, and it's a goal for the Orioles. It is. I believe that was Fitzpatrick. And we don't have the benefit of replay. We usually do if we are in the grandstand, so we can't bring it to you again. But nevertheless, the Orioles answer right back with their 5th goal and their first of the second half. And that goal now comes within a minute of the Orono Spartans' first goal. 10:20 remaining in quarter number 3. The clock is stopped and back to the center circle. So a great defensive play by the Orioles leads to their first goal in quarter number 3. Back to the center circle, and it's Sam Hansen again, the freshman, to do the honors. So Coach Kate Pearson going with youth at that center circle. And she'll go against the number 32, the sophomore Layla Nick, the leading scorer by far for the Spartans. Okay, now we've got those sticks parallel that spins out. And the race is Collins gets there just in front of Grimm. And now Collins on the near side comes into the offensive zone. The sun shining on their necks from behind. Again, just a gorgeous Minnesota day here. No bugs out yet, it's perfect. Okay, now Layla Nick at the top of the key, tries to penetrate, gives it up to Collins on the near side, and now we have a whistle from behind. Clock now still winding down though. They don't stop for all these whistles typically. 9:47 remaining, and now a free opportunity for Layla Nick there. She winds that ball up like Casey at the plate. Now gives it up to the near side, number 7, Riley Teal, and the shot and a goal inside. The pass to Dylan Collins from Teal. It originated with Layla Nick, and that is goal number 13 for the Spartans. They lead by 7. Is that my math right? I believe so. And the clock is continuing to wind down, and I'm wondering if the mercy rule is not in effect or if they just forgot. But there is a mercy rule, and usually they stop the clock when goals are scored. But right now the clock is continuing to wind down. So our score 13-7, and we're now under 9 minutes to go in quarter number 3. Back to the center circle just as the wind kicks up. And so the Orioles, just so you're oriented, they're going into the west. That's where the sun is setting, and that's where the wind is coming out of at 9 miles an hour. Not sure it has a huge impact, but it does a little bit to some degree, I would think. Okay, now here come the Spartans on that faceoff. That's number 17, Sween, as she rushes in at about the 12, 15-yard line. A whistle is blown, and it looks like she's going to get a free opportunity from a bit out at that right hash mark, just inside the 20-yard line, which puts her about 15 yards away from Savannah Davis, as the goal seems to be at about the 5 if you're looking at the American football field. That's also indicated on the lacrosse field. And we're waiting for the whistle to begin. Clock says 8.5 minutes to go and winding down here in the third quarter. Still waiting. Now they'll pass it up. She was a little far out there to Nick. Nick tried to get it down low and overshot. Number 31 was the intended recipient, Mullerin, the sophomore, and she loses it, and Viat will take over. Unforced error against the Spartans, gives the ball back to the Orioles, and now Viat streaks along the near side. This is what she's so good at. She gets cut off, and the ball gets checked away, and it's out of bounds off of the Orioles, and a great defensive play by Dylan Collins for the Spartans as she cuts back in. They play on. Under 8 minutes to go. Now the ball into the basket of number 21. That is Amelia Carpenter, who's checked in. So the Spartans go into their bench here a little bit in the third quarter in the second half with a sizable lead. Now behind the net with it, that's number 15 for Orono. That's Quinn Brassington, the junior attacker. Now the ball winds up in Layla Nick's basket, the leading scorer, cuts in, gets by the defense, comes in, goes low, puts it in the net. There was a whistle, and was that before the shot? And looks like they're gonna wave off the goal. There was an infraction prior to that. And the ball, though, will come back out, and there is Layla Nick. Look at her wind it up like Ken Griffey Jr. at the plate, even a left-handed wind up. Look at that. And she lets it fly. My goodness, I wish we had replay. That would be interesting to watch. Showing some big drama there. She looked like a left-handed player and I mean this in the most complimentary sense. Really, truly, just wind up there, all the confidence in the world to just let it fly at a mid-waist fastball. And now they're going to be paying attention to, I just noticed Savannah Davis just had her helmet taken off and she's got her hands on her head, and the clock now is stopped with 6:58. So a bit of an injury, and now she goes to the ground as a trainer or coaches come out to tend to her. And I personally did not see what happened there. Exactly. I'm trying to recall. We don't have replay, unfortunately. So, but what I remember is, as I was describing it, was Layla Nick winding up, and it looked like that ball made it cleanly. Oh, it went off. Oh, I just got some help from our friendly patrons here at the field that the ball may have deflected off her head. And I didn't play lacrosse. We didn't have lacrosse, but I did have a chance to go and inspect one of those balls. They're pretty hard. They're a little on the heavier side. So she did have a helmet on, but still the impact could have concussion repercussions, or if it hit her in the face and the helmet didn't protect her, that could be an issue as well. But they are certainly taking their time as the players have taken a knee here out of respect and wishing good result here. But they are still tending to her. Maybe a jaw issue, perhaps. I don't know. They seem to be looking at the jaw. Now a player comes off from the bench from the Orioles. And now it looks like they're going to try to get her up, and she does get up, and a nice round of applause. Savannah Davis has certainly seen quite a bit of action this afternoon. 14 goals for the Spartans, and she is gingerly walking off the field, I would say, and so we're going to have a substitution. We'll keep an eye on her. But she seems to be walking okay without any assistance, so that's a good sign. She's not dizzy or falling down. Hopefully she can recover quickly here, and I'll keep an eye on her on the sideline as well. Meanwhile, we need a new goaltender for the Orioles. I don't know if I don't think they've had one in net here in the 2025 season. And I'm just wondering what it looks like. Someone might be suiting up over on the Orioles bench, putting on some sweats, probably for that added protection. And maybe some different types of shoes to protect yourself as a goaltender. I'm not really sure what equipment a goaltender has that's that much separate. I'm looking down at Sydney Anderson. She has bare legs, shorts on. That's the goaltender for the Spartans. And then you wonder about a warm-up period here. Thinking about hockey, there's a change in a goaltender. They'll bring the goaltender out and at least allow a few of his own teammates to just fire some light shots at him to kind of get his bearings in goal. It's a different surface here, obviously. The ice is different. But I've never seen a goalie substitution midway through a quarter like this due to an injury. So it's a new experience here. But definitely they're trying to, I think, get somebody ready. I would think on the sideline. It's hard to identify exactly who that might be. Well, let me see here. Looking at the schedule or at the roster I don't have positions designated, and they've only had one goaltender, Davis, start the first two games. So a delay here allows me another chance to represent. You're watching ParkTV 16 Sports. We're streaming live on YouTube. You can also go to the website and watch the replay both at YouTube and at ParkTV16.org, I believe. All right, now players coming on and off. And I'm not sure what's happening here. Do the Orioles have a backup goaltender is my question. I don't know. You would think. But the Orioles are huddled up now in front of their net. The Spartans are huddled up over by their coach on the sideline. So I think they're going to play. I think they wouldn't not call the game here. But I think it's Bray. Okay, yes, I do identify someone on the sideline that's putting on a goalie-type helmet. So they are getting a player ready on the sideline. And what a brave person that would be here. I looked at, is the score now 13-5, Paul? I thought it was 14 for a second. Yeah, it looks like it's gone back to 13. So that last goal would have been what happened here with Savannah Davis getting hit on the net. Now we have a referee on the near side explaining it to the fans in the front row. What happened? All right, so another interesting development is the referees have come over. I don't know if we've got that on tape here, but to explain to the patrons that that last goal, I wasn't wrong. They did take it off, and the explanation I could overhear is that because the goaltender didn't move and she got hit in the head, they nullify the goal. Some Spartan fans questioned that it was a free shot, as if that might be some sort of exception to that rule. That's a new rule for me that I was not aware of. So the result is the referees have the power, and I've never seen a referee change their mind on purpose without a replay. And we don't use replay to second guess officials' calls in high school sports, at least not yet. And it looks like we're going to get going here. Still the backup goaltender to be identified, if I can get a number. But she had to get all kinds of stuff on, and now she's getting some instruction, I believe, on how to hold the basket. Yep, it's going to be number 1, and I don't have a name for, well, maybe I do. I do. Yes, it's going to be Abby Carlson, the sophomore, coming in nets. I don't think she expected to play. I don't know if she's had any experience whatsoever, but the bravest person here today is Abby Carlson, coming against this powerful Spartans offense, who's put in 13 goals, maybe 14. That one was taken away. So she is going to, I have the feeling she is learning this on the spot here. Now they do give her a ball. She's going to have to start out by throwing it out. And it's also a learn, I mean, they use a little different net, so she's not going to start out with it. But my goodness, I don't think she's ever played goaltender before, at least not in a varsity game. It's just an instinct from what I'm watching here. So let's keep an eye on Abby Carlson. And now the Orioles start out with it, and that is Ailish Fitzpatrick rushing it away into the offensive zone. And we're back underway here on ParkTV 16 Sports. Fitzpatrick tries to get it to the far side, intended for number 15, Zara Fakir. And now the ball coming back out to Ailish Fitzpatrick, intercepted by Orono, and they're back on offense as we approach the 6.5-minute mark in the third. With the ball, Spartans come in, take a shot, and it's deflected in the save, and that, I think she got hit in the head as well. I'm not kidding. Right in the face mask. Yeah, and you know, if she doesn't have any experience, you wonder, ugh. And now they are tending to her helmet, and I do think she got hit in the helmet. And now another stoppage and more knees as the coach will come out and tend to her. This is extraordinary, isn't it? Now the players will move away for privacy as they tend to her, and if she's unable to go, we're going to need a third goaltender, or I don't know. Oh, now they're going to bring water out, and the injured person is Abby Carlson, and I was explaining how brave she is, and I didn't mean to be that it was going to end up in her injury for sure. They are talking to her, the sun's shining down, and there's Ailish Fitzpatrick, one of the team leaders, of course. They come over to report back to their teammates how she's doing. And meanwhile, the coaches are looking at Abby Carlson as she remains standing. But they took her helmet off immediately, and I did have my eyes on the action that time, and it appeared to go right off the front. And again, these are not tennis balls that they're throwing around. There's a little bit more substance to them than that. And yeah, she's done. Just like that, within a minute, and another round of applause. And you wonder, without any experience, how safe it is to play goal if you have not played very much with the velocity and the weight of the ball. I mean, these girls, and this is a compliment, they really wind up. They are serious, but yeah, she gets a hug on the sideline. And are they going to play? Are they going to get a third goaltender? After 2 head injuries, I don't know. Let's see what happens. And it's just quiet here at St. Louis Park Track and Field Place. I'm just scanning here, looking to see, is someone else going to play goaltender? Who is going to step up here? And I do see some, well, no, I think that's Abby Carlson changing out of the goaltender gear on the far sideline. That's what's happening. And do I see someone else putting on a chest protector of some kind? It maybe so. And I think the Orioles are not, they've got another goaltender on deck. And I didn't see her number. She put the chest protector. I think that's what I'm seeing over there. So what was a very fast-paced match has slowed down to a molasses in January pace. Wow, another brave person going to, I think, gonna assume the goaltender. Putting on some goaltender type shorts perhaps. And obviously a chest protector. Can you see? I do have binoculars, let me see. I have some binoculars here I hardly ever use, but this might be a good time. Let's see here. If she can just turn. Oh, all right, putting on the chest protector, then she'll put her jersey on. It may have been number 10. No, that's Savannah Davis, so she had a 0. Lucy Robertson, perhaps? Or a Peyton Butta? I did see her number was 0. What's that first number? That's 3. Okay. Peyton Butta, the sophomore, is going to be the second replacement and the third goaltender. She's getting getting together on the far sideline. And I'm starting to see the type of equipment that these goaltenders wear. So they do have a chest protector that they put on, and then the jersey over, and then it appeared maybe some thicker shorts. Maybe there's some padding there. It certainly appeared that way, and now she's going to put some coveralls over that. So the next bravest person, maybe now the most bravest person is Peyton Butta coming in after her 2 teammates in less than a minute have gone out with head injuries based on shots taken by the Spartans. And the sophomore now back there on the sideline now, putting on probably some special shoes, I'm wondering, as well. I put the binoculars. And so we are going to continue on here, but an extended break midway through the third quarter. 5:52 remaining. I might keep using these binoculars. It might help me now that I think about it. The one thing about broadcasting with binoculars, it's hard to see the big picture, but it's certainly helping out now as I got a clear view of the sidelines. And there is Peyton Butta. I don't know if we have the camera on her or not, but I certainly do have my binoculars, and she is getting ready to go. And now that helmet is the next thing to go on, I think, as we continue to watch her. And now there's going to be some special gloves that she wears. She'll have short sleeve shirt on there, but you can see the chest protector. You know, it's reminiscent of a major league umpire They wear the chest protectors underneath. When I was growing up, they'd actually have a shield that they would hold, kind of, that was also strapped around their neck. But this is much like catchers that have their pads oftentimes. Well, not Major League, they wear them over because they need to bat. But here is Peyton Butta as the Orono Spartans are huddled in front of the St. Louis Park bench. Our score remains 13-5. 5:52 remaining in quarter number 3. We're in running time. And you know, one disadvantage too, you're coming in and that sun is setting right there in the west, and as it comes lower, it's going to be in the eyesight of the goaltender. So that's just another consideration. In the fourth quarter, that'll be reversed. They'll switch sides, and so that'll be an impediment to Sydney Anderson, the goaltender for the Spartans. But just something I just noticed, only because it's coming into my eyes as well as it comes lower on the horizon. And now I'll put the binoculars on the sideline, and you know, it's like watching an astronaut get ready for space here. They're putting that big helmet on. They've got the pads on. They're going to load her into launch mode here as they do strap her helmet on. And there is a face mask there. I would think that the ball couldn't fit within there. And she does put a mouth guard in as well. And she is going to be the third goaltender thrown into the cauldron here that are the Orono Spartans offense. They're on pace to score more than 20 here, but it's been an extended break. And here comes Peyton Butta as she trots out. And a generous round of applause, and well-deserved. If it's never been known before, it's demonstrated how dangerous this sport can be. And now she'll come in. Are they going to warm her up a little bit, maybe throw some balls at her at least? And look at the sun. It's coming right in on her. I've got the binoculars on it. And now she is learning how to get a position. Oh, wow. Is she brave? Peyton Butta. And now, to start it off, there's going to be a free shot from point-blank range at a 45-degree angle. Welcome to high school varsity lacrosse goaltender. Here comes their number 1 scorer, Layla Nick, on the rookie. And she beats her easily on the right side for the 14th goal. And the clock is stopped. I don't think it should be, but it is. And that goal comes with 5:48 to go. And our score is 14-5 on Layla Nick's. I think that might be her 5th goal, and the clock remains stopped at 5:48. And so, Peyton Butta comes in, unable to save that almost impossible situation when you think about it. And we're now back to the center circle. Doing the honors for the Orioles will be number 24, Sam Hansen. And she'll go against, if I can get the numbers, number 30, I believe, for the Spartans. 31, and now here comes number 2 in the offensive zone as the Spartans win the offensive face-off. Alex Paulson gives it up to Dylan Collins. She'll try the right side with Peyton Butta in nets, the sophomore. Bravely substituting after 2 of her predecessors were hit in the noggin with the ball and having to leave with some sort of head injury. And now the Spartans with another chance here with a free shot. And she loses it momentarily for the Spartans. That was number 21, Amelia Carpenter. And that shot is in, or is it not in? No, it's not. And a save for Peyton Butta, I believe, and nice job. She's 1 for 1 as she loses it there. And she's gonna have to give it up here, and she does. Well played there, Peyton Butta, huh? Now with it, Fitzpatrick. Nice pass inside, across the middle, number 37, Nora Robertson, the senior, and she does a nice job getting the ball into the offensive end for the Orioles, but it's taken quickly back by the Spartans, and that's Layla Nick. She keeps running. I thought I heard a whistle, then another whistle, but they play on. And now Nick with it as she gets guarded by Fitzpatrick, and Fitzpatrick slows her down, signals to her teammates. I look at the clock, 4:14 to go in the third quarter. Dylan Collins now inside behind her target. Rebound, though, comes back out to Collins, and she retains possession on that far side. And now the Spartans get it to number 21, Amelia Carpenter. Carpenter now at the top of the key to the near side to Layla Nick. Nick now to Paulson, number 2. Paulson will try the front there, coming in, and nice defense by the Orioles. They push her to the wayside on that far side. Now inside, the underneath shot by Dylan Collins, and a little razzle-dazzle shot. The assist will go to Alex Paulson, and that was a nifty looking shot by Dylan Collins as she goes behind the back with it. And that was a nice low pass. She kept it low. I think the tendency would be to bring that stick back up. But that goal comes at about the 3.5-minute mark in the third quarter, and we are now again in running time with that 10-goal deficit for the Orioles. 15-5 our score. And it's been pretty much all Spartans since the beginning. They had a 7-1 lead after quarter number 1. Orioles came back with a goal late in the second quarter by Sam Hansen, then got 3 more here in the third, but the Spartans have answered back with several of their own, and a score 15-5 with just under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. And the face-off now is controlled by Alex Fitzpatrick, and that was number 22, Kate Grimm, as she tried to get it back to Fitzpatrick. Failed to execute that pass, and now here comes Nick, and she spins like a Tasmanian devil and goes down to the ground. And she appears to be okay, but that was quite the spin move by Nick, and she'll get another free opportunity in front of the rookie goaltender for the St. Louis Park Orioles. Peyton Butta into the gauntlet, and she goes low. And that's another goal for the Spartans and another goal for Layla Nick. And the clock continues to wind down here in the third. We're at the 2-minute mark right now as they will set up again for the face-off at the center circle. And after a substantial delay there in the third quarter, we're approaching the end, and now back to the center circle. To do the honors at the face-off will be Elise Sween, the sophomore for the Spartans, and I believe that is Fitzpatrick now. Back to do the face-off honors for the Orioles. I'm right at a 50 perpendicular with them, so it's hard to see numbers, and that was Fitzpatrick, but the face-off was won by Sween, and she has it for the Spartans into the offensive zone. Getting poke checked away by Hansen. That stops the play momentarily. Now she gets by Hansen, and Sween takes a shot from the near side, the far side, by number 25 for the Orioles. I don't have a name for her. It might be Riley Bond. She wasn't in my program, but I did catch her name, and it was either 35 or 25. And now a chance for the Spartans once again with a free shot. Coming right in, Sween goes low and bounces, steps it in. Bounce passes it in, bounce shoots it in, I guess would be the proper terminology for goal number 17 for the Spartans. And I look at the clock adjacent to the scoreboard, and there's now 28 seconds remaining in the third quarter. As they make their way back to the center circle, we'll have another face-off. That's Alex Fitzpatrick. And Sween, again, will do the honors for the Spartans as they'll set it up here with 12 seconds to go. And counting now under 10, 7 to go as they set it up. Just in time maybe to get this face-off off. 2 seconds, 1 second, and there's your signal. And before they get the face-off, that will conclude quarter number 3. And after 3 complete, our score from St. Louis Park High School is the Orono Spartans 17 and the Orioles 5. our score on a gorgeous afternoon. We'll stay right here. We won't go to any public address announcements or commercials. And I'll just remind you that you are watching ParkTV 16 Sports, based in St. Louis Park, Minnesota, bringing you girls lacrosse, Metro West Conference rivalry between the Orono Spartans out from the west and the St. Louis Park Orioles. As both teams now huddle prior to the commencement of the fourth quarter. We are in running time, and an unusual start here for girls lacrosse. First time this year. We've had both games that we've been here to broadcast starting at 5:15, followed by the JV. I've never seen or heard of other that. Even when I played high school sports, JV played, B squad played at like 4, 5, then JV at 6:15. The varsity, I think, would play. I'm thinking about my basketball high school days, but never the reverse. But it also allows the folks here and the players just to enjoy just a beautiful day here. There's a few other places you'd want to be than just sitting here enjoying the sunshine for no other reason. And you're watching an old set of trees in an older neighborhood here in St. Louis Park, gorgeous neighborhood, and these old trees. It's starting to bud. You can see in the silhouettes as the sun sets behind them. And you can just feel spring is just right about here now. All right, now it appears that they're about ready to begin. 12 minutes on the clock. Spartans give their last little cheer from the sideline to get them motivated, even though they've got a sizable lead here, 12-goal lead. And the clock is already running to start the fourth quarter, so they're moving things along, especially with that delay. And we're waiting for number 30, Peyton Butta. I see her on the sideline, but she doesn't have the helmet on quite yet. So I think they're waiting for her still to get suited up. Wait a minute, now we have another goaltender, I just noticed. So we've got number 26 or 5. Let's see. New goaltender, the fourth one as they set it up. That's number 25, and I don't have a name for her. Unless it's Riley Brown. So a third goaltender, first time ever I've seen, I think, any goaltender, but 2 unfortunate head injuries, and we really hope that those 2 women are okay. Head injuries are nothing to mess around with. And now the face-off as we now begin. They did reset the clock, 12 minutes, 11:54 to be exact. We're in running time, and the ball is picked up. And the first possession of the fourth quarter belongs to the Orioles and Riley Ridgway. And now she'll have it after the whistle. This time the the Orioles will go right to left. The sun will be behind him. Actually, I was mistaken. I was looking at the wrong goaltender. Let's see, in net. Oh, you know what? Who's back for the Orioles? It's Savannah Davis. So I mistakenly looked at the Spartans goaltender, and it didn't occur to me that even though they were wearing the red jersey, because in girls soccer, oftentimes the goaltender is wearing a different color jersey than the rest of the players, and it just dawned on me that I saw Peyton Butta not with the helmet on the sideline. Meanwhile, play underway for the Orioles, and I look over and Savannah Davis, who was originally hurt, is back in net, so that is very good to see. Meanwhile, even better to see is a goal by the Orioles in the fourth quarter. And as I was busy looking at the goaltenders, I didn't see who scored that one, but so my apologies. And we don't have a PA announcer where I can't repeat it, or our usual our replay technologies, but nevertheless, goal for the Orioles. And they're off to a good start here in the fourth quarter as they've matched the Spartans 1-for-1 in the fourth quarter. And if I was coach, that's kind of how I would play it and challenge my players, right? I mean, there's really no realistic chance of getting back in this one, but let's see if we can win the quarter and play a game within the game to stay motivated and to improve. So let's see what happens as the Orioles now are tied 1-1 in the fourth quarter, but it's 17-6 overall, of course. Spartans comfortably in front, to say the least. And now at the center circle, that's Alex Patrick on the right. On the left, I believe that's Sween again for the Spartans to do the face-off here in the fourth. Under 10 to go in the match. And the face-off controlled by the Spartans. Number 21, that's Amelia Carpenter. And she gets fouled and takes it again and tries to split the defense. Ball loose, they play on, no whistle. Fitzpatrick tries to pick it up, but it's picked up instead by number 11. That's Lily Logan for the Spartans. She comes in, cuts in, still has the ball, but there was a whistle from behind. She continues on, takes a shot, and beats Savannah Davis, who has re-entered the match. And the Spartans get that goal with 9:18 remaining in the fourth quarter. And they extend their lead back to 12 now. As the clock continues to wind down, we're at the 9-minute mark right now as well. And I can feel the temperature starting to drop just a little bit as that sun, I just felt a little bit of a chill in the air. High of 69 at game time, 68 at halftime, still right around there. And with 8:41 to go, the face-off at the center circle. This time it's Ridgway against Sween. And Sween wins it again for the Spartans. And now Shu, with her speed on that left side, comes right in on the slot, gives it up on the doorstep. There's a whistle again from behind. Plenty of whistles. Clock, though, does not stop on these whistles, even when we're not in running time. And now Sween with it on the far side. We'll wait for the signal as they rearrange the characters on the stage. And it appears Sween will get a whistle to go ahead. Point blank range against Savannah Davis, who's re-entered. That shot blocked by Davis. Ball now behind the net on the rebound. Scramble for it. And the Orioles come away with it, and that is Viat. Viat, haven't heard much from her today. Now she loses it. Nice poke checked away, but she regains possession and puts a perfect pass on the money to Grimm at midfield. And now she'll bring it in. That's Lola Grimm. Unless I'm mistaken, I think it is. Now she pulls up. Oh, that was 24, Sam Hansen, excuse me. Those numbers are so small. And she was fouled, and now she'll get a free shot from the far side. Quite a distance out, though, from goaltender Sydney Anderson. Clock continuing to wind down, 7:19 and counting. Hansen, pass inside, shot by Ridgway. Deflected in front, and a nice save by Sydney Anderson, and a great scoring opportunity. Well executed, just a great goaltender there to stop it. Now on the ensuing outlet pass, intercepted by the Orioles, and now they're back in business. That was number 6 with the interception. That was Layla Mickelson, the senior for the Orioles. And now there's Sam Hansen at the top of the key, and she'll be the point. And gives it up to Fitzpatrick. No one there to take advantage of that slight miscue, and now Fitzpatrick with it. Take a look at the clock, 6:40 and counting here in the fourth quarter. Fitzpatrick now gets a little bit of pressure, now to 22. Kate Grimm inside to Hansen. She goes down from behind, and she is going to get a free shot from point blank range. It depends on how far they move her back, unless, no, yep, she's going to get the ball. She already has a goal this evening in the first half, late in the second quarter, actually. Gave the Orioles their first score, which led to 3 more in the second quarter. Now Hansen comes in, goes low, and it's stopped by Anderson, and she's been stellar in nets for the Spartans this afternoon with 2 big saves late. And now we got another whistle. Clock continues to wind down, under 6 minutes to go as the referees will huddle, and we'll determine what happens here. Who's going to get possession? And it appears the Spartans are going to get it deep back behind their own net. Far corner, that's Gabby Stevens, number 18, if I'm not mistaken. And she'll start it out. Hansen, though, putting the pressure, the forecheck, I should say, much like hockey. And that is Stevens. She gets turned around by Hansen. Outlet pass to the near side. Scooped up by number 39 for the Spartans. That's Izzy Beal, the sophomore. Beal now rushes it nicely into the offensive zone. Beal with it, 39, cuts back towards the middle. And that is Viat on defense. Trying to hold her up, and she does as she gives up the ball. And a nice job by Izzy Beal, 39, bringing it all the way back from the defensive zone for the Spartans. And now we got a whistle again on the far side. And there's gonna be a turnover, it appears. Let's see. All right, yes, that's Fitzpatrick with it at about the 27-yard line. So a turnover. Not sure why, but the Orioles have it, and that's Fitzpatrick at midfield with 4.5 to go in the quarter. In the match, ahead to Kate Grimm, cuts back nicely inside, looking for a shot, takes a shot and scores it, and there was a whistle right before the shot or at the time of the shot. Boy, lots of whistles in this match, I have to say. They're gonna wave off the goal. Boy. Let them play, I say. All right, now Kate Grimm with a free chance to try to do it again. 4 minutes to go. Takes the shot, winds up, and it goes wide right and out of play. And are they gonna redo it? Certainly feels that way. Or is it no, behind the net? The Orioles will have it. So they retain possession. The nameless, unfortunately, number 36. I don't know her name. We don't have it in the program here. Oh, they are going to bring it out. My instincts were right. Kate Grimm's going to get a second opportunity. So something went wrong against the Spartans on that one. Meanwhile, 3.5 minutes to go in the match. Grimm with another chance, takes a shot, and a save in the net by Sydney Anderson, her third in the row here in the fourth quarter. So that sun not having any impact on her ability to see the ball and defend her net. So now here comes the Spartans on the far side into the offensive zone. That was number 17, Elsie Sween. And a turnover. Sends the ball in the opposite direction, and now the Orioles on the offense. That's Hansen with it. With one hand on the left side, gets it poke-checked away. Boy, the Spartans are really good at poke-checking those balls away. They've done it continually all match long. Now right on the doorstep, 36 took a nifty pass. Well executed, couldn't quite get it on net. Ball goes to the left and behind the net, and the Spartans take over possession as we approach the 2.5-minute mark. And with it is number 39, Izzy Beal. She did a nice job rushing it. She uses her speed and size to get on the near sideline. Cuts back in, splits the defense, and does a beautiful job rushing it into the offensive zone. Oh, and then miscue on the pass. A chance for the Orioles to take it right back. Still loose, and picking it up again. This time is 38, Dylan Collins. And she has scored plenty tonight for the Spartans, and now the Spartans have it. With 2 minutes remaining in the match, 2 minutes, and the Spartans have it. Number 31, that's Mullerin. To number 7, Teal. Now trotting with it to the, nope, now to the far side, that's Elise Sween. Back to Teal, number 7. And a miscue as it was intended for number 10. That was Lauren Arnold, just an 8th grader, getting some minutes here in this varsity match. Recovers the ball nicely. Now the Spartans behind the net. Look at the clock, 1.5 minutes to go. In the match, now the Spartans trying that far side. Viad along with Ridgeway play great defense. Now carrying in Dylan Collins and a whistle. And I didn't see any contact there, but from behind the play, they stop it, and it's gonna be a free shot for Dylan Collins on Savannah Davis, who returned from a apparent head injury in the third. Coming right in and missing on it, and the rebound. Spartans coming around, trying to wrap it around on Davis and to get it to go. No, they wave it off. She was inside the little semicircle, so an infraction there, and I think that's gonna turn the ball back over to the Orioles. And now they have it with 43 seconds as Davis outlets it. One last chance for the Orioles if they can get possession on the outlet pass to try to get on the board. Coming away with it, 36, and she does have it. Whistle favors them. She's got Fitzpatrick ahead of her, and she completes the pass. Fitzpatrick, 3-on-2, takes the center. Pass to the far side to Grimm. The shot, and another save by Sydney Anderson. 4 in a row. Big-time goaltending there by Anderson this afternoon on display. And she outlets it for the Spartans with 12 seconds remaining. Ball loose now, scooped up by St. Louis Park's 21. That was Adrina Meyer, who's checked in, the sophomore. Whistle, 2 seconds, 1 second. And there is the signal ending the match here. Our final score, Orono Spartans 18, St. Louis Park Orioles 6. So for Paul Broden, our producer, and everyone connected with ParkTV 16 Sports, my name is Robert Christensen. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again. Have a great night.